again. We'll have our own little. All right. So I'll obviously have it fade out ours. Koi, if you're seeing this, we don't know if the audio and the video. I'm looking at my screen too, so that's gonna be tough. But if I'm like hosting it, guys, I'm obviously running the podcast. If I'm not looking at the camera at Eddie, it's because I'm checking stuff out.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
But yeah, we got Eddie Timashuk.
Welcome. welcome.
We have no clue what we're doing. And This will be fun to watch one day.
You know, I think one of the, once this thing is big enough and we're like, this is where we started.
Yeah, dude.
Have a little
be cool
look back, like what Scott did.
Yeah. It's like me looking back at all my boats here recently and talking with a bunch of
dude,
birds.
like I watched that one and I was just like reflected on myself. I'm like, damn.
It's probably kind of interesting. Like, we know each other pretty well, but like, you don't know my history.
No.
But like, see that picture of me when I was like 20 holding that bass. It's probably like, look at Wes.
Dude, I'm gonna have to do something similar because like there's a few people that called me money bags.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, if you only knew the crap I had to go through to get here. Even now, it's still struggle sometimes, you know?
Dude.
And like the aluminum boats we rented.
Yep.
Freaking had to rent them. I had to find ponds that had those little aluminum boats laying on the sides, you know what I mean? Freaking hole in them. You're sitting there scooping out the water.
We were pumped to have it.
Oh, hell yeah.
I remember it freed me up. Like went from a canoe to a john boat. Well, now I've got more room. I can maybe go to the lake.
Yeah, dude.
Easier.
When I moved down here, I sold my boat. I sold my truck, everything when we moved to Nixa. And freaking, dude, I was bummed because I could not afford a boat. I could not afford to, go out and fish like I wanted to.
Yeah.
And I ended up buying a kayak on sale because I couldn't afford full price.
Right.
So then I went down to James and I was like, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. I could fish now.
You're free.
Oh, yeah.
More bank.
Oh, no.
It's like it all starts at bank.
Yeah.
And then it goes canoe or kayak. And then to me, a john boat was an upgrade.
Oh,
you know what I mean? And I traded 2 shotguns for my first john boat, and these Flex sealed it because it was leaking.
Yeah,
bringing water.
Yep.
We would go down to Walnut Springs and put in, and we'd go around to what they call McCord's Bend. And if we came back around McCord's Bend to get to the ramp at Walnut Springs and the wind was blowing, we couldn't get back because all we had was a battery and a troll motor.
Yeah, that's what I did too.
The bass fishermen would tow us in; they'd feel bad for us,
Yeah, but it's the heart that was there. You know what I mean?
Oh, I just wanted to fish.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, I remember the feeling of it being exciting to think of like, how could we build like aerate a cooler?
We actually did that. So up around where I grew up, up and around Sedalia, there's a little north of it, there's a lake. I'm not going to say it, but there's a lake where you could, they have john boats there that you could use for the day.
Yeah.
And my brothers and I, that's where we caught our first 5+ pounders. And we were so stoked. We're like, all right, we got to make a tournament. And so we started aerating coolers.
Yeah.
Figured out that doesn't work that well.
Yeah.
So
even a good live well is hard to keep the fish alive
sometimes.
Yeah.
And then we did the MLF style. We cleared scales and we bought those Rapala scales back then.
Yeah.
Not no bubble. We couldn't afford bubbles. You kidding me?
Yeah.
The first scales, what we had was they didn't even store nothing. They just showed the weight. That's it. And we'd had a clipboard. Each one had a clipboard in the boat. We would write the weights down. By the end, there's freaking clipboards dirty, wet. You can't even read the note, man.
That's who won.
And we freaking loved it, Yeah. And then right now, my boy's growing up. This is where it's crazy. He's growing up and I'm watching him and I'm trying to put him on the boat, we're going to go flip brush piles and do this and that. And all this boy wants to do is catch a fish.
Yeah.
He don't give a rat's.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He could, dude, we were, no kidding. I have video. I'll show you the video. So on Saturday, we were coming out of PB2, and we had an AIA and we sucked, dude. It's terrible.
You and your boy?
No, me and my brother. Mm-hmm. My wife came up there to watch us weigh in. The only one she come in and I did freaking bombed it. Okay. my biggest fish in the live well was a 2.8. That sucked. Yeah. It sucked.
Tough day.
Dude, we put on, like, I'm loading the boat. My wife calls me while loading the boat. She's like, bring your scale. Lucas said that he has a 5 pound. I'm like, bull. I'm like, this cannot be happening. I'm like, how did he catch it? On a crankbait. I'm like, of course he catches it. And he was just, on PB2.
He had a legit 5 pounder?
No, he had a 312. He had a freaking 312. I'm like, I could have used that fish. Right. That would have been a pretty good fish. Maybe a check. Yep. Because it was like 13 pounds, got a check.
I can still remember being with my dad and being at Table Rock, and we were staying at, it wasn't Rock Lane, it was one of the resorts down there, and him going to get the boat, and the 10 minutes or the 5 minutes I had to go run the troll motor by myself with nobody in the boat and catching a smallmouth over like off the side of the ramp, it just felt like KVD.
Oh yeah, dude. I used to, so my love for bass was like at a young age. I loved bass. And what we would do, my dad would always fish for crappie, something to eat. And then what we would do is, like, especially, I grew up around Truman Lake, and we would put in a sterret, and then when we leave, and him and my uncles, they would be loading the boat, and then I'd just hop over to the dock and like fish under the docks real quick, And
how old were you?
11, 10.
So you sounded like this. So it was young Eddie.
Oh yeah, I was about. Yeah. Oh no, I was like, I ain't showing this fish to Dad. He's finna eat it.
No, that's good. That's good. Really good. That's pretty good. That's freaking awesome.
Yeah, so we've got some. I mean, obviously, this isn't going to be like a live production. So, Coy, we're really just recording this to hear it and play with the behind the scenes stuff. But there's a board in front of me that I can push a button and give a pitch up voice like you just heard, or it could be like a monster voice. So now, like Eddie, do this one. There's that one, and then there's this one. Try that one.
What's this one do?
This was just a voice disguise. Yeah, so I'd be like, I'm watching you through the window. Say something like that.
I'm watching you through the window.
Talk faster.
I'm watching you through the window.
Oh, yeah, you see, you don't have to slow it down. It slows it down for you.
It actually sounds better like this.
Yeah.
Dude, keep my voice like that on every podcast. Freaking people be tripping.
And then another one, like if I think this is the one. So if somebody mentions Randy Blockett. I don't know if we're picking fight. We won't pick that fight right away, but that'll be fun. And then there's a cricket. Somebody says a bad joke or something that gets awkward.
Or asks for spots.
And then there's hey, welcome on. Welcome. That's a big applause. And then we got record scratch. And then chimes. Kind of magical. Rim shot. And then the trombone. So that's all I got right now. There's a button. That's kind of fun. So, and then I've got another 8 buttons I can add more to it. So we can add like our own music button that start it out every time. And I can turn people up and down. Like if I'm talking, I can lower them. Now you can't hear me at all, can you?
I can, very little.
And then I can go, if somebody's talking quiet, we can bump them way up and they get louder. So
this is where a producer comes in handy.
Yeah. And that'd be fun. So if you guys are just sitting there and I'm sitting here watching, running it, then it's easy. I can keep things good.
Oh, yeah.
It's hard to do both.
Just, it's a thing I just realized how easy it is for me to talk.
It's great. Me and my wife sat here the other day, and I love the way she sounded on it. She sounds great anyway, but we took the headphones off. It's just such a comfortable way to have a conversation.
It is. And it's like, there's no extra noise. You don't hear cars coming by. You don't, like, there's no distractions. You could actually have a normal conversation.
Great conversation. Yeah.
That's actually pretty cool.
I'm really happy with the audio. Coy, one thing though, if you get your mouth over here to the side of it, you can obviously tell how much clearer it is when they're talking right into it. So we'll have to be good about that.
Or just keep it like straight in front of you. And like you could move. See, look, I moved a little here, a little there, but my audio don't change. Right. But it's like directly in
front. Yeah.
Yeah. But if you come over here.
Yeah, it doesn't sound very good. That's right.
Yeah.
So we've been 10 minutes.
Oh,
so
that was pretty fast.
Yeah. And I think we'll have some scripts. We'll try to go off script a little bit.
See, the thing is, like, I think instead of like a script, I think we should have just like a guideline. Yeah, because like whenever it's a natural.
Oh, for sure. You can't. Yeah. Just something to kind of, okay, we're going to start out with this, talk about Eddie's history, where he's from, talk about how he got into fishing, tournaments. Yeah. And then, we'll have something to go off of. And, maybe not. Maybe it'll be better.
No. I think we should still have like an outline, like a general outline.
Yeah.
But like if it goes one direction, like let it go. If it's actually like something that's not going down a rabbit hole,
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like some decent
then-
conversation. Then
Because
yeah,
if they do that, then we can go like that.
and turn their mic off.
Yeah. And Coy, we got different lighting colors. So like that's like bright white, that's a blue, and this is more orange, which makes me look. Eddie said it makes me look better, so we're gonna go with it. So,
But yeah,
I think we're
and I think with it being darker around, it might be
behind
good.
us.
Yeah.
I know. I'd really like to see what it looks like. I just am afraid we're gonna hit that switch and then this is all gonna shut off. So we're gonna have to figure that out at another time. But yeah, I mean, because you see mine and I have a little bit darker behind me. It looks okay, and yours has a lot going on. There's like a light in the back, and then obviously we'll probably put something cooler right there. We'll probably like do like some
like a green screen of some sort.
Yeah, and we could even do that little MODCast thing there. I have 2 big green screens, like giant.
Yeah, we could put it back behind and then you could put whatever.
You could, and we could do that. But I kind of like that it's in the shop.
I think it makes it more natural.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
If you do the green screen, it's cool, but you can see the fuzz around people, even if it's perfect.
That's right.
And yeah, you could do Table Rock behind you.
That's
but
right. That's right.
I think the green screen would work if we want to put up a map, and then you could like turn and like point. But that switcher, the thing about that switcher is we can bring in, if we have the switcher, we bring in our cameras, but I can also bring in like YouTube or like a lake map, and we can pop it up on the screen. I can hit the video switcher to show.
Yeah.
You can be like, hey, Wes, would you pull up that video of koi falling in the lake and pull it up, you know?
Yeah.
So the switcher's a must. I think that's something we'll look back on and be like, oh yeah, I had to have the switcher.
I think you're right.
So Koi, that's one thing we're talking about is I've got a board that all the audio comes into, but right now my videos are coming into one. There's no like control unit. They're just there. And so we're talking about getting a switcher so we can bring in a lot more different videos. And the other thing is if Eddie looks fuzzy, which I don't know if he will, it's because we've invited him as a guest instead of coming in locally, which means basically hardwired in. He's having to come through the internet to join from a camera that's here, which makes no sense. So switcher, I think, is a first order tonight. I also have little rubber things that are going to go around these cables.
Okay.
That match these colors. So if I'm looking at you and I'm like, oh, he's green.
There you go.
I don't have to wonder. I can just quickly do it. So I've got 4 colors, pink, green, blue, and orange coming.
Okay. All right.
What was the other? There was a video board and what else do we need?
I think that's it.
For 2 people, we're good.
For 2 people, we're good.
These are $300 each. But I knew those because
But the thing is, those are like, there's a one-time investment kind of situation.
Yeah. And I can use those for so many things. Like
put it on the boat.
Well,
no.
Good.
No, that's too.
But and these could come in handy too. These little camera clips, if we, I don't know, even just to have your phone up there. You know, if you want it up there, like if we were watching the video, the lights we didn't have till today, and they make everything way better.
Oh yeah, the lights are a must.
I would rather. We need to work on our setting. Like the idea of having it in the shop, I like, but at the same time, there may be a point where we could set up 2 chairs next to each other, just sitting back, and you're sitting here and I'm sitting here, and it's on both of us, and you can put like a Billy Bass or whatever. Remember that thing? Did you ever have one of those? Where you push the button?
Yeah.
Take me to the river.
Yeah. I actually had a trout. It was like my dad. Of course, my dad ate everything, and it still does.
Yeah.
You freaking dude. We went to Table Rock.
Hold on, we gotta make sure I'm beeping it if you're saying he's eating bass. Go ahead.
And I was saying we went to Table Rock. I caught a freaking 3-pound smallie. He's going, so eat it. He's like, I bet it tastes.
Oh man, yeah. Well, some people like that. It's like my buddy. I took
not a smallmouth though.
Ooh, I heard a story one time. I'm not going to mention any names, but you might watch this one day. And he's a guy down on Beaver, and he had some people with him, and they caught a 7-pound smallmouth.
No,
and they made him fillet it.
No,
and we were giving it. We're like, why didn't you do like the oops, or just say no, we're not eating this one? He's like, well, it's kind of hard when they have a license, they legally caught the fish, they paid me to guide them. Like, it's kind of a tough situation, I'm like, ugh. I would have maybe oopsed it back into the water.
See, and now, like I had some guys last year from my church that went with me, and they're also eat everything kind of people.
Uh-huh.
And now I made a rule. I was like, hey, you're on my boat.
Yeah.
We're going to go by my rules. We're not eating largemouth or smallmouth.
Right. Tell them beforehand.
Spots,
Sure.
enjoy yourself.
Right.
They're pretty good, by the way.
They are. Yeah, and largemouth aren't that good. And smallmouth are okay, but they take so long to grow. You know.
The thing is, last year we were practicing for the OMTT and we caught a smallmouth and he swallowed it.
Yeah.
He swallowed it.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
we're like, fudge, you know? Yeah. And we ended up eating him because, like, we threw him back.
Yeah, why not?
I kept.
I'd like to control the computer. Recording is stopped due to media disconnect.
Did you press something? Does it say when?
Just happened. Yeah, we need a video switcher.
I confirmed it.
Yeah. Okay. So
See, the thing is with the video switch. Oh no, you gotta have it on the table too, huh?
yeah, the switcher will be up here for sure. Okay, I think that was cool. We got quite a bit.
Okay. How does the? Can you try to have that thing render or whatever?
Damn, I hope that didn't just kill it. 17 minutes ago, recording in progress.
So we're still
Okay.
We're still live.